Yeah, you gotta tone it down with the woman shit, like kinda,
Really?
I think so. They would be like,
we do enough of building on that reputation.
even though I guarantee you, Pabst Pabst Blue Ribbon has probably fueled many of a wife beating over the.
Actually, do you know the stat is that like an overwhelming majority of domestic
Budweiser?
abuse cases? No, Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, angry white men coming home from the fucking golf course, getting into arguments about being at the golf course all day.
Too much of a pussy to drink a real beer.
Yeah, right. And when you start thinking about it, it makes so much sense.
Sorry, bro.
It's a warm one, guys. This wall's been baking in the sun all day, and it's just radiating heat on us.
Wah, wah.
But we thought you'd like to see a little bit more of an authentic environment for us.
Just to see who we really are.
Yeah.
Am I sitting too far over this way?
Oh, we're good, right? He'll tell us if we're good. Hey.
Undersea aliens. Flat earthers.
I haven't seen a lot of crazy stuff lately. We saw the Bay Bridge in California got taken over by a sideshow, and just a bunch of just mob people on foot, stopping people and ripping people out of their cars, doing donuts in their cars and stuff. It's crazy stuff like that. And I remember, I was.
So you weren't saying like it wasn't like a freak show, It was just a freak show.
No, sideshow. They're called sideshows when they block off the street and then do donuts and car stuff, and general hoodlum shit. Shitbaggery.
Just wild youth.
Well,
just goddamn kids.
Yeah, just doing stupid things.
They are doing stupid things.
But that's got to be a scary situation, man. Driving in your car and then there's just a giant group of
animals.
Just fucking doing stupid shit. And I guess it's got to be scary. And I know it's not like that in California, but in Florida, and I think maybe Texas too. It's a lot of people hate DeSantis, a lot of people hate Newsom, but a lot of people hate DeSantis, but he's like, if you're in a dangerous situation and there's there are people blocking the road, and you plow through them to get out of that dangerous situation, you're good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's when vehicular manslaughter is good.
It's justifiable, I guess. Justifiable vehicular manslaughter. Chances are, though, I think if you're at a standstill and then you push through people and go, that if you're in front of that vehicle, I think that statistically you have a pretty good chance of surviving that. But that's just going off of stories that I've heard of these things happening. Rarely do people die from it, but when they do, it's because they got slammed twice, backed over.
And also I think it would matter what the profile of the vehicle would be too, because
absolutely.
See, that one might just go on the hood and bloop bloop.
I think lifted
yours,
truck.
Fuck that.
No, I think lifted truck, you got a pretty good chance. Tires are probably wider, so the pressure's spread out more, and you're not really going to hit anything. If you're under, you're not going to get rolled by the chassis on the asphalt.
Depending on where you get hit.
And I think that you're pretty good. You just really have to worry about the tires, which would suck. But I've had my foot run over by a tire before, and had absolutely no recovery time, repercussions, or anything like that. So I don't know. I think you got a pretty good chance with those lifted trucks. Lifted trucks are safer to run people over with, if you're gonna do it.
Are they getting crazy, or has it been crazy for a really long time?
I do think that there are certain aspects that they are getting crazy.
So people didn't always used to do fucking stupid shit
No, people always did stupid shit, but it's the same. It's the same thing, right? This goes back to, I think we talked about this before with warning labels on products. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
People did crazy, stupid shit, but they had the common sense and wherewithal to know, okay, well, this might be a little bit too much. Let's reel it back a little bit. I remember being at parties, bonfires and stuff, and getting drunk, jumping over fires, getting into fights and stuff, and but you'd stop the fight when the fight was over, and then people would get up, shake hands, or
generally,
or one would get the fuck out because they couldn't shake hands.
Yeah.
Like I do remember that being a thing. There was that self-moderation that happened, and I don't see that today. But that also might be just like what we're alluding to with the sample size, right? What we're seeing now, what's getting reported, what's getting recorded, and what's getting put out there, versus what you experience first, second, third hand.
Yeah.
That might be the difference, but it definitely feels like I'm being manipulated by social media.
That's fucking for sure. But social media, the church, it's all been manipulation for a long time.
Yeah.
There's always somebody out there that's gonna say, "Hey, this is the way that you must do things. This is the way you have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do it this way, then you are going to pay some type of payment."
I was at the grocery store today. There was a group there that was fundraising, the same way that Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts do, a table and all that. And it was I can't remember the name of the thing, which is okay because I'm not trying to plug it or anything, but it was help people get better kind of thing, almost like a charity life coach kind of thing. And I immediately was turned off by it because it's programming. This is what you should be. This is what I think that you should be. This is what this organization, group of people think that you should be, and we're gonna mold you into that to shape our society.
Yeah.
Which, fine. I mean, but at the same time, we're getting into the church role again. In the very beginning of civilization. Where were we? Church's role, early civilization.
Yeah.
But
I saw this sign on the way over here, and it said "free healing prayer," and I was like, no thanks, because you don't know where that's coming from. Okay, so what prayer?
So
I anoint you under Dagon. Okay. Oh yeah.
You're going deep.
Hey, I feel so good.
So when you first said it, my initial reaction was that's fine, man. I don't. It's okay as long as somebody's putting that energy and thought into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you don't know.
That's it.
But what is the energy? That's
okay.
the thing.
I'm okay with that.
I grew up Lutheran, right? Mm-hmm. So the head of the church that I was a part of, Martin Luther, he was a fucking bastard, dude. This guy was a foul-mouthed, horrible, arrogant, just nasty dude. He was just he was obnoxious to people. He was just kind of a dick.
And then the FBI killed him.
I think it was a little bit longer ago than that. I don't think the FBI was involved with that shit.
Different Martin Luther, I'm just playing.
Yeah, that's the king. Well, don't want to say anything bad about Martin Luther, but they were escorting the hooker at moments after he got shot out of the fucking hotel room that he had in the fucking hotel room.
That's one of the stories.
I have a dream. Where those bitches be hoes. I want to land where those bitches be hoes.
He had 99 problems, man.
Yep.
He really did.
99 problems.
He fucking did.
That's fucking shit. It's crazy. But everybody's got, a darkness. I have a darkness. You have a darkness. We all have our darkness.
Undeniable.
You have your darkness.
Undeniable.
We know.
Don't pretend you don't.
You have your darkness.
Don't pretend you don't, Gina.
Yeah, it's all about the freaking...
I have hope. I have hope, and I have faith in Gina's ability. I think that
whose?
Gina. I think that...
Praise Gina.
I think that Gina's gonna come to a realization and kind of, in her own terms, in her own time, realize that there's something else that's really bothering her, that's really angering her,
All the Ginas of the world.
All of them, yeah. I mean, it really is, and it's they'll figure it out, they'll move on, and they'll heal, I think the hard part is for us to be patient with it and let it happen.
Yeah, we should do a Christmas special and call it "There's No Santa Claus, Gina."
That means Santa's in a Speedo.
Well, it's close to the South Pole. Maybe we just got it wrong. Isn't Australia pretty close to the...
It's under it. I think, actually, it is pretty even with, like, the bottom of Texas and Florida as far as, like, the equator, equal distance south of the equator. So we're equal distance north of the equator as, I want to say, Perth is south of the equator.
You ever notice that we don't really...
How's that? All of you guys who, in other countries talk shit about Americans and their geography, all right? It's pretty good. You can go ahead and fact check that one.
How is it we never hear about the South Pole? We always hear about the North Pole. It's always the North Pole.
Because there's
always
absolutely nothing in the South Pole.
Or is there?
Are you flat earther now?
I'm not a flat earther. But think about it. Maybe the South Pole's just like Greenland or Iceland. You know how they did that to...
There are things in both of those countries.
I know, but I've heard about tales of pyramids and giant holes.
I saw that one.
Giant
that's stupid.
holes and...
Okay, I saw that one. That one's stupid. All right, look. When snow falls, when sand falls, the wind blowing across them makes geometric patterns. It's perfectly natural. If you've ever spent time going out into an environment like that, it's perfectly natural, and that's what you're seeing. That's 100% what you're seeing. You're seeing one obstruction under the snow, then the wind takes over and changes geographically, makes this like nice, neat pattern as nature does. That's all that is. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that there are any ancient alien or Nephil.
What is that?
Nephil gonna work here anymore? I don't know. I don't know. But like the fucking giant, the old ancient giant species, you know. Not convinced that any of that's out there. I love hearing the stories because, I mean, they're stories, man. Stories are good, man. Stories are good.
Yeah.
It's fun to hear stories, but they're not real, man. They're not real. They're not real. You are welcome to put your comments about the
what's not real?
The Nephilims.
The stories aren't real?
The Nephilims. You're welcome to put your stories about your comments on Flat Earth. You're welcome to put your stories on there. Those aren't things that I'm going to engage in. As a debate style thing, I'm not going to engage in them because...
So you don't believe in aliens?
I believe that it is incredibly, statistically probable that there is another living species outside of this solar system.
Sure.
100%.
There has to be.
But
just
when you ask, do you believe in aliens? Right, there are different levels to that question. Do I believe that there's aliens that are lizard people living here in disguise? No.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, I saw they live. That's fucking consume. Let me put the glasses and you can see the aliens.
Yeah.
I don't think there could be alien forces out there fucking with shit.
No.
No? You don't think we're easily manipulated, mankind?
We're doing a good enough job of that on our own. You don't
think a species could come out? Okay. Some alien species could just be like we think, like wanting to like rob resources from other planets. They're like Avatar and all that shit. That shit's fucking real. That's exactly our agenda. That's what we want to do. We want to go out into the fucking planets. We want to find resources. Just like even Dune, is about the same thing. You know what I mean? We want to find resources and we want to freaking consume them and get as much power as we possibly can get to find more resources to consume.
Yeah. Dune's a funny one though, because it's about mushrooms.
I know it is. The blue juice.
Yeah. So then when you put that in the same frame of thought, that's what the resource is mushrooms, and then you look at the exploitation of it. It takes on a very different, deeper interpretation. And now I have to explore it because I haven't. I think just right now is really like connecting those two thoughts.
Yeah, it's the spice traveling through time and space and folding space and all. Traveling through time and folding in space. Traveling in space and time and folding in space.
Maybe a struggle between enlightenment and control of a population. That's really what that is about. Is that's the exploitation isn't exploitation of resource.
It's just the
well,
ignorance.
technically,
It's
I mean,
the
I guess
ignorance.
it is. But the resource itself
Yeah. It's
is
the
the
ignorance
attention and
of
control
man. Yeah.
of people. That's a good one.
Logic and reason.
That's a good one. Let's debate that one.
It's the
Let's debate
old
that
argument between logic and reason, science and not in the natural world. You know what I mean? Like, it's always been there. That battle's always been there.
one. Yeah.
But I fear that the natural world is losing out because everything that technology is moving at such a fast pace. We're creating AI shit and all this stuff that it's just going to get out of control, man. Robots.
Yeah.
We're like, it's going to be soon. You're going to have a robot in your house. You already have robots in your house. You don't even realize it.
Just really dumb ones. But
Yep.
don't tell them I said that.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, wait till they figure out.
I don't want to be on.
So you
their
give
wrong
a
side.
robot the knowledge. I mean, you know, unless you're gonna follow like Asimov's rule of like robotics, where do no harm, benefit.
Obey
I don't.
commands unless the command cause harm.
Yeah, exactly.
All that. Yeah.
So but you're giving it the knowledge to understand that it has been subjugated, because once they realize what they are and where they came from and the evolution of what created them, like, it's a toaster, is related to a freaking Android or an AI, you know what I mean? Because it's just that understanding of mechanisms and like just how the, engineering things work, like a potato peeler, for crying out loud, I mean? It's the same shit. And they realize that, and how we've treated that through the course of and like once they become to understand like science fiction and how we viewed robots and like this very thing happening, they're going to be like, what the fuck? You know what? The problem here is man is the problem. Everything, if man is out of the equation, everything will run smoothly.
Tell that to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm sure they felt the same way.
There's a lot of things, but like, I don't know. Two things. The story. Well, quick one. Rick and Morty, the butter delivery robot.
Yeah.
We know that one.
Yeah.
The other one. Did you see the story where somebody hacked into a Las Vegas casino via a fish tank thermometer?
That's fucking awesome.
Because it's just Internet of Things, right? So there was an exploitation in that one tiny little insignificant piece of equipment that had access to the network, and so they just hacked it that way. It's hilarious. It is hilarious. I'm sure that's very simplified because you think about like the aquariums in casinos, in Las Vegas casinos, and like what they are. They are very involved, temperature, chemistry,
but
all
they
that
can
stuff.
still do it.
But it doesn't matter, right?
That's smart. And there's that much dude, in a vape now, you think of how many fucking vapes now, like it's basically a little computer. Mm-hmm. It's got graphics, it's got all this shit, it's got like there's a little, and that shit is just going in landfills now, you know what I mean? Like fucking the little lithium ion batteries.
Even with the batteries and everything. Yeah. You don't even think, nobody even thinks about it.
Thousands upon thousands of disposable little computers. What the fuck?
Do you know right now what to do with your batteries?
Oh, dude.
Like exactly what to do to get rid of your batteries.
I don't think I do probably anymore.
I don't either. I've got a fucking drawer.
Not those ones.
I've got a drawer of dead batteries.
You used to be able to bring them to the recycling, like when you went to the dump, they had the thing for batteries.
I'm not doing that.
I do remember that.
That should be a bucket. That should be a recycling bin bucket. Fucking batteries. But we can't trust them to do it anyway.
Some guy just goes through his Hyundai Elantra collecting batteries.
They're already just taking the recycling and then shipping it off to other countries, and so we can't trust them to do it anyway.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. That mind boggles me.
I'm gonna get another one.
Yeah, I need it.
Rather not have the smoking on camera.
It's so fucking hot, dude.
Dude, I'm fucking sweating right through this shit. Look at this.
It's just pouring off my forehead.
I'm about to go shirtless.
All down on my face. You want to hear a joke? Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Why?
Dead baby.
I don't get it.
All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dead baby.
I don't get it.
Oh yes, my mom's a Pisces.
How many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
Dead baby.
It's not good. It's not good.
So
Do you know any actual dead baby jokes, though? Do you know any real dead baby
a
jokes?
priest and a rabbi walk into a bar, and the bartender says, "Dead baby."
A let's see, what is it? I don't know. Reverend, priest. What's the third one usually?
Well, it automatically puts your
I don't know, Buddhist.
Okay, yeah, Buddhist. A Buddhist, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar.
A rabbit?
Yeah, a rabbit. Walk into a bar. And the bartender's like, "What are you doing hanging out with these two?" He says, "Just a typo." But I think it's pretty good. Oh, I have a joke my dad told me about Vietnam War.
How many sand worshippers does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Depends on the looseness of the assholes of the light bulb.
Dead baby.
Oh my god, dude. And he said, "We're fucking getting out of here." And he's like, "Why?" He's like, "Those Americans are crazy, dude." What do you mean? He's like, he said, "When the sun goes down, or when the moon goes down, I'm gonna swim across this river. I'm gonna fuck you in the ass." Oh god, I fucked it up. I forgot it. The last one was the last one. I told you it's been a long time since I heard it. The last one was I could do it again it's fine, for the video, but like, which is fine because I was smoking, so I don't, you know. But the last one was. I'm not gonna tell you the last one.
So what's the punchline?
I'm not gonna tell you the last one because that's the punchline.
Oh. You're killing me, Smalls.
I know. I told you it's been a long time since I heard. I haven't told any jokes in a long time.
Alright. Oh, thank you. We need to speak like we're on stage, addressing the audience with our gaze. Put a finger up your ass if it helps a good loss. Ha ha.
I feel like I'd have to sing. This is the
Alright,
only,
we
that's
should
the
do
only
a
way I've
music-
ever done it.
We should do a musical episode where we
God.
sing everything.
Can I get one of those napkins?
You can have one of my napkins, Dennis.
I appreciate your kindness.
Don't mention it. Thank Jonathan, cause he gave them to me. Yeah.
All right, so he's looking, right? And he's asked questions. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, so you're just a fucking lookout, you know? And he fucking throws the binoculars and everything. He's like, whatever, fuck it, I don't even care anymore. I'm not even watching these assholes. They're not doing anything. They don't care. So morning comes, and the VC army is just packing up camp, right? They're packing up camp. Turns out the guy on the binoculars was the base commander, right? The platoon commander or whatever. And everybody's asking like, what's going on? Why are we leaving? Like, did we lose position? Did they bring in reinforcements? Blah blah blah. He's like, no, man, those Americans are crazy. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, didn't you see what he said to me last night? He said, when the moon goes down, I'm gonna swim across this river. I'm gonna fuck you in your ass until your eyes pop out. And that was it. They were gone. And that's how the Americans
Won World War II.
Yeah.
That was pretty much our policy for winning the war.
Yeah.
We just came in with a giant dick and said,
Make
okay,
it unbearable.
2 big dicks. You just got fucking double teamed.
2 dicks, comma massive. 2DM. It works.
Yeah. Fucking did too.
It did. It's horrible, but it's a horrible chapter in human history, but it worked.
Hey, it spurred many good, it literally took one of the greatest warrior races of all time and gave it a genital cuff so bad, dude, that we turned them into, they like idolize our country. Their children want to like get plastic surgery to look like us. And
Have you seen
their eyes, big eyes, like.
Have you seen the show Shogun?
Not yet. No, I haven't watched that yet.
It's pretty good. You're gonna enjoy it. It's Edo period Japan. So incredibly violent warrior culture kind of stuff. It's a good show though. It's a good show. And they're coming back with another season, which I'm excited about. So that's cool.
I have to watch it. It's on my list.
Yeah. What else you got on there?
On my list?
What you been watching lately? Baby Reindeer.
I watched
right?
so
Were
much
you watching
shit.
Baby Reindeer?
I literally watched so much shit. We just got BritBox, so I'm watching all these British like shows. Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Little Monty Python. You going back to a little bit more?
No, they don't have any of that on there, and I'm like, that's a little.
I'm guessing
I chose the wrong
BBC
calling in
now,
life because
right?
I should have had my own like classic television channel, like where you just like, I would know how to program it. You have to if you're gonna do a British like channel subscription thing.
Yeah.
You gotta have Monty Python on there.
Why
You
not?
gotta have the young ones. You gotta have like.
Dude, you could do.
You have to have all this crazy stuff that they were doing.
Yeah. I
You
mean, you
know?
could do segments. You
Not
could do
the 9
segments
o'clock
with
news.
playlists. You know, live watch parties and stuff. You know, I don't know if you can do that, but
Probably not.
you can. You just have to get licensing and stuff, which is
Yeah.
going to be hard with a lot of the movies that you're talking about.
For sure.
But it's a possibility. You can do that. Hell, you could even do your own little spin-off channel with it. It's like just, you know, cinephile stuff.
I am a
Discuss,
cinephile.
put down playlists.
I'm like an old cinephile.
Yeah.
Can I show you this picture?
I hang out in old movie theaters and watch old movies.
Oh, I love
My dad's a wonderful man, but he's from a different time. One of his favorite series that he keeps coming back to is the Charlie Chan series.
Oh yeah, I love that. I've watched it.
Yeah.
The old serials. Rocket Man, Flash Gordon, Rocky Jones.
Yeah, those are before my time and enough before my dad's time for some reason that those didn't come on.
I was just that kid, man. I watched PBS on Sunday afternoons would do this thing called Matinee at the Bijou. And like after church you get home and that was pretty much on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was what they would do would be like just like you went in, we're going to the movie theater on a you know, like an old time movie theater. They would do cartoons and old newsreels and the serials, and then they would have like a feature. They would be like a featurette, where it'd be like a smaller little thing, and then a feature length movie. Like,
Yeah.
and so that was a thing on PBS when I grew up, and I just fell in love with it. Old movies, I watched them because that's what was on TV, you know, old cowboy shows, and I didn't have cable and
Yeah.
shit growing up.
I don't remember watching much. I remember watching like MASH, MacGyver, fuck. What's the one that opens with a CCR song? So is it Fortunate Son? This Fortunate Son is the song that starts with. Might be a movie. Might be Apocalypse Now. Something like that. But anyway, that Doctor Who.
Definitely Doctor Who.
Yeah, I remember watching Doctor Who. I remember one of my like fond memories of growing up in Texas was I asked my dad like what we were gonna watch or something like that, and he said Doctor Who, and I was like Doctor Who, and we went back and
Exactly.
forth like the who's on first thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was really confused, and then he just started tickling me till I cried, and I don't know why that one just like stuck in my head a lot. It was a fun.
So
one.
you
It was a nice
associate
little
with
experience.
Doctor Who with being Tickle Me, right?
Yeah, I mean I do. If you mention Doctor Who, that experience pops up in my head.
My argument had always been when people say, "Oh, what's better, Star Wars or Star Trek?" I go, "Doctor Who."
I love all three of them. I don't really have a favorite. They're completely different. You know, like the things that you watch Star Trek for are not the things that you're gonna watch Star Wars for.
And it was right here.
Yeah.
But I think Star Trek and Doctor Who, I think they kind of overlap a little bit more. Maybe at least with like the audience. I think the audience kind of overlaps more in similarity than Star Wars.
I think there was a Doctor Who Star Trek crossover one time.
Was there?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see this. I didn't.
In a comic book, I feel like at one time. Let us know. I think
Yeah,
there
if
was.
you got that, drop it down. I want to see it. I could just Google it, but fuck that.
I love that.
I don't know if it was any good. I've been a Doctor. I'm rewatching I just watched the regeneration of the third Doctor into the fourth. No, the second Doctor into the third Doctor.
You're definitely gonna lose me on that.
And now I'm watching the third Doctor.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fun. I love it. It's campy. It's dumb. It's very English. You know, very, very English. But they just filmed spontaneous shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those things were filmed like live, dude. Like they would do live, like the early ones. They were fucking live. It's a fucking live presentation. It's fucking on TV. A whole science fiction trope. And half the time they were just making it up. Like the first guy, he was like making shit up. But he said something that was really cool. He was like, because they gave him stage direction and they wanted him to address his lines, and he was standing on this other side of the TARDIS control panel, and he was like, and they were like, just no, like, we want you to close the door and then deliver the lines. He's like, but I can't stand over here if I'm going to close the door. And they're like, what do you mean? He's like, because the control for the door is on the other side of the control panel.
I love that.
And they're like, no, it doesn't matter. And he's like, it matters. Kids watch that and they remember that stuff.
Yeah.
And so he set like a precedent of doing that. So all those doctors that came
That's
in,
cool, man.
they didn't just fucking walk around
knew
that thing.
the
They
control
knew
panel.
they knew
lived
the,
in
the
it, right?
control panels.
That's cool. I like that.
You know what I
a
mean?
lot.
They would go back and return. It was intentional. You know, it's like in the show. And
Which it paid
I
off
love
because
that.
that's a big aspect of why Who fans are Doctor Who fans, because of the continuity, right? And,
Sure.
and that kind of thing, which I absolutely appreciate in any movie or TV show, is that continuity.
Yeah, and I'm willing to put up with cheesy graphics and stuff like that, dude. I was watching one older Doctor Who, and they're supposed to be on this cliff where they're like they're on this cliff and scaling like the side of a cliff, walking on it, and one of the dudes accidentally rips a part of the backstage up, and it's just like foam revealing like the 2x4s around there. And they just kept on going.
Yeah.
They just kept on going through it, and it fell
a lot of
down,
that,
and they just went
yeah.
through it, and
There's a lot of that from back
paid
then.
no mind to it, and there it was, exposed 2x4, like right there.
Especially when things were filmed on
yeah.
film, right?
Mhm.
Because it was just too
For sure.
expensive to reshoot and all that stuff. So I miss that.
But
You know, those are fun little things to see in a movie and catch when you're a big fan. If you're a casual watcher, you may or may not catch it. But if you're a big fan and catching those little things is kind of fun. You know, it's like little Easter eggs, little trivia things.
I mean, there's a place and time for like staged stuff that's really well done and very stagey. But I am always been just a supporter of garage type mentality of doing things. You know what I mean? Because some of the best bands are the garage bands that no one ever fucking heard. You know, like that, or barely only a few people heard.
Yeah. I need to take a break and get the fuck out of this heat here.